never dreamed that I would lose my daughter on the New Year's Day, a day for reunion, just because I was working overtime at the company. My wife Chi-Yun called and said that my daughter had a fever and asked me to go home quickly. When I got home, my daughter had a fever and was twitching all over and lost consciousness. But Chi-Yun didn't know where she went. I took my daughter to the hospital and rescued her immediately, but it was too late. I called Chi-Yun, but the other end said that Zoukai was too lonely to spend the New Year alone, so he accompanied her to have the New Year's Eve dinner, and asked her to find some medicine for Yan. I wanted to tell her the news of Yan's death, but she hung up the phone directly. I didn't see Chi-Yun again until I saw her in front of Yan's morning hall. She was flirting with Zoukai, even behind the morning hall. She didn't feel sad about losing her daughter at all, and took off her clothes in front of Zoukai. Yan's portrait was placed in front of the morning hall. I was offering incense to her. Chi-Yun came in holding Zoukai's hand. The two were very close. I just saw her dress clearly. She was wearing a red deep V short skirt. When she bent down, she could see the lace inside. She was wearing a fiery red fur coat outside. She was dressed like a noble lady. She was not dressed like this to attend the funeral. She treated Yan's morning hall as a cocktail party. I don't know what Zoukai said in her ear, which made Chi-Yun shyly cover her mouth and laugh softly. When she saw me, Chi-Yun rolled her eyes. "Gaoyu, you are really good." In order to trick me back home during the New Year, she actually used such a despicable method. Facing her questioning, my already frozen heart cracked. Our daughter is dead. Not only does he, as a mother, not only don't know, but he doesn't believe what I say at all. I feel like I have lost all my strength and can't hold on any longer. I sat down slowly, my eyes were dry and sour. The pain of losing my daughter made me depressed. "I'm talking to you, you're dumb. What are you doing? I just didn't come back last night. What's your attitude?" I looked up at him. I didn't want to say a word. "Chi-Yun, let's get a divorce." I never thought that I would get to the point of divorce with Chi-Yun, but Yan's departure made me feel that the marriage I had been struggling to maintain was meaningless. "Divorce, Gaoyu, you are really powerful now. You dare to threaten me with divorce." Chi-Yun doesn't believe it at all. After all, I love him to death. Everyone knows it. He looked around, and the people attending the funeral hadn't come yet. He thought this was my clumsy scam. "Yan just had a fever. You lied to me that she was dead. Isn't it a funeral? Why is there no one here? I can see that you lied to me." Listening to her talking about Yan, my dead heart was aching again. Yan would not have died. She was only 3 years old, but because she had a fever and no one took care of her, the best treatment time was delayed. Now he is still asking with a licking face. Seeing that I didn't speak, Chi-Yun's patience was exhausted. He kicked my calf with his pointed high heels and said, "I'm talking to you. Are you blaming me for not taking care of Yan? Zoukai is too lonely to spend the New Year alone. Please understand. We are together all year round. This day is not bad. Now I'm back. Can you stop making trouble?" Chi-Yun's words are all about his reasoning, but this is definitely not a reason for him to abandon his daughter. Listening to what he said, my heart suddenly exposed a wasteland. Zoukai is lonely. Can you distinguish the priorities? Is eating New Year's Eve dinner more important than Yan's illness? Let alone anything else, we must divorce. Chi-Yun thought he was coaxing me, but I couldn't coax him at all. When he saw me asking for a divorce again, he stamped his feet angrily. "Are you done yet? How long will you talk about such a small matter? Gaoyu, you have always been stingy, but it's so pitiful that Zoukai is alone in the New Year without anyone to accompany him. How can you have no sympathy at all?" After he finished speaking, Zoukai, who had been silent, leaned forward and coughed twice, with a face full of guilt. "Gaoyu, I am unfamiliar with this place and I only know Chi-Yun. Don't make a fuss about it. We have known each other longer than you." Although he seems to be speaking for Chi-Yun, every word he says is showing me how important he is. That provocative look seems to say, "Look at your wife. She doesn't even care about the children, but she wants to spend the New Year with me." The two of them are very close to each other. It seems that I am the extra person. This is not the first time he has neglected the family because of Zoukai. It was just a small matter before. I asked for leave when he wanted to play. Because I love him, I am willing to tolerate him. But this time is different. Yan lost her life because of this. I have been forbearing for the sake of this family. I always think Chi-Yun can feel my love. But I didn't expect him to get worse. This time I can't bear it anymore. You two have known each other for a long time, so you two can live your life separately from now on. This is Yan's funeral. Don't be so affectionate here and dirty Yan's reincarnation path. Hearing what I said, Chi-Yun became anxious. "What are you talking about? Zoukai and I are things of the past. Can you be more tolerant?" "Yes, Gaoyu, if I really wanted to break you up, you wouldn't have been able to get married in the first place. Don't be so mean." Zoukai chimed in from the side, and I couldn't suppress the anger in my heart any longer. "Fuck you, I couldn't care less anymore." I stood up suddenly and punched Zoukai hard in the face. I used all my strength in this punch and knocked him to the ground directly, with blood flowing from his nose. "How dare you say these things in front of me? If it weren't for you, my daughter wouldn't have died." When I raised my foot to kick Zoukai, the newcomer pushed me to the side. Gao Yu, you've gone too far. I originally thought you were incompetent, but I didn't expect you to be so petty and hit people. If Zoukai has any third, no matter how long or short it is, I'm not done with you. I glared at him with bloodshot eyes and yelled at him. Shut up, you heartless woman. Yin is still so young, how could you be so cruel? Jin Yun clicked his tongue impatiently. This matter can't be resolved, right? I admit that I was wrong. I will apologize to Yin. Is he in the hospital? Is it a big deal for a fever? The hospital must have overtreated him and wanted to charge more medical expenses. This morning hall should be evacuated immediately. Today is the first day of the new year. It's so unlucky for you to do this. You are deliberately disgusting people. It's too unlucky. At this point he still thinks I'm lying to him. I collapsed and yelled at him. It's too late to apologize. Yin is already in heaven. You can't find her. People like you deserve to go to hell. Qi Yun opened his lips slightly and blinked. You're never done lying to me, are you? Is it a big deal for a fever? Have you watched too many palace fighting dramas? You used my daughter's health to trick me into going home. You're like a shrew who can only cry, make a fuss and then hang yourself. I walked towards him step by step. He stepped back, his mouth twitching, not daring to speak. Yin is dead, she died of a fever, and she died soon after she was admitted to the hospital. You left him alone at home for Zoukai, and he was only 3 years old. Qi Yun, I really want to strangle you to death now. I clenched my fists, my temples throbbing, and I shouted that I want to strangle you to death. Pay for my daughter's life. Qi Yun was frightened by my appearance, and after taking a few steps back, he pointed at me with his sharp fingertips. Gao Yu, you are still brooding over the matter between Zoukai and me? I didn't expect you to be so shameless. Do you think I will believe you if you say Yin is dead? You can only scare me with my daughter, and that's all you can do. At this time Zoukai got up from the ground, slowly walked to Qi Yun, put his arm around her shoulders, and comforted her softly. Qi Yun, don't be excited, how could Yin die? It's just a fever. Gao Yu said this in anger. After comforting Qi Yun, Zoukai frowned and looked at me. Even if he was angry with you, he shouldn't curse your daughter like this. It's hard to have a father like you. I no longer have the energy to argue with her. My only hope is to get a divorce as soon as possible. Qi Yun and Yin are really dead. I can't forgive you. This marriage must be divorced. I don't believe a word you say. Where is he now? I want to find him. I looked at him and pointed to the small crystal coffin inside. Qi Yun looked in the direction of my finger. His eyes were dazed for a moment. Because the body was covered with a white cloth, he didn't see who was underneath. Gao Yu screamed and rushed to me. He raised his hand to hit me, but I dodged it easily. He stood there without any image, shouting, Yin is your daughter after all, and you actually cursed her like this? You are well prepared, even with a coffin. How long do you want to lie to me? Believe it or not, I looked at him coldly. It's still early, and someone else will come soon. You better not make a fuss. Let Yin go on her way with peace of mind. Qi Yun wanted to say something but was pulled aside by Zoukai. The two of them whispered for a long time, and no one knew what to say. Qi Yun's face no longer had an angry expression, but a calm one. He pulled Zoukai to the rest area at the back. The two were inseparable and had no reservations in front of me. They were showing their affection so blatantly in front of me. If it was just now, I would have been furious and would have beaten this bastard up. But now I'm sober, calm and dead, so I don't care. Soon several of my friends arrived. I felt bad about disturbing others for holding a funeral during the new year, and it was not appropriate for Qi Yun not to be there at this time, so I went to the lounge at the back to find him. Before I opened the door, I heard laughter coming from inside. What do you think your husband is thinking? It's so funny to joke about such things. This was Zoukai's voice. Yun Qing laughed and said, he thinks he can control me by using our daughter. It's funny, who does he think he is? Your way is better. When everyone is here, I will go out and expose his true colors. He wants a divorce, let him do whatever he wants. It's not me who is really embarrassed. I just feel a fire of anger blocked my chest and couldn't dissipate. As soon as I pushed the door open a crack, I saw a dazzling scene. Zoukai hooked Qi Yun's chin, and their faces were very close. I thought of such a good idea, how are you going to thank me? Qi Yun smiled and hit him. Didn't you torment me enough last night? Zoukai pinched her but hard. How could that be? All these years Gao Yu, that coward, got the advantage. I have to make it up to him. As he said that, he kissed Qi Yun on the lips. I stood behind the door and watched. It was only today that I found out that they were not just ambiguous, but had cheated on me a long time ago. Qi Yun sat on Zoukai's lap and screamed softly. What if someone came in? Zoukai didn't care. This is a funeral home. Who could come in? Besides, don't you think it's more exciting this way? It seemed that he was persuaded by him. Qi Yun's eyes became visibly blurred. Then you better be quick. Her gentle voice made my heart tremble for a moment. I couldn't help but feel sad. I couldn't help but feel depressed. I couldn't help but feel sad. 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 I couldn't move. 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 Light have another child with Qi Yun, but no matter how many, it will no longer be Yin. Not to mention that I have made up my mind to divorce Qi Yun. Most of the relatives and friends have arrived. Qi Yun and Zoukai slowly came out of the lounge. He looked satisfied, with a spring tide that had not subsided. Our mutual friends came up to comfort her, but after a while he came over with a strange look on his face. Will Gao Yu's blow of Yin's death be too great for Qi Yun? Why do I feel that he has started to talk nonsense? It seems to me that his face is not right. I sneered in my heart, but before I could say anything, Di-yoon came over with a twisted waist. You are really good. Gao Yu invited so many people to act out this play. After he finished speaking, he looked around and his voice was sonorous and powerful. I am sorry to disturb you all today during the new year. Don't be fooled by him. Our Yin is alive and well. He must have hidden her. Gao Yu is just narrow-minded. He is making trouble with me and wishes to make everyone know Ji. I really went too far today, please forgive me. Everyone looked at him as if he was a fool. Tianqiun still felt good about himself. He looked so arrogant, as if he was a messenger of justice exposing my crimes. My cousin couldn't stand it, and stepped forward to shake his shoulders. Sister-in-law Yin is dead. How can you still say such things? My cousin told me that you are not a human woman. People are dead and you are still fooling around outside. How can you be so cruel? Qi-yun rolled his eyes at him, shook off his hand, and then smiled contemptuously at Gao Yu. In order to deceive me, you even let your cousin help you lie. You are really getting more and more promising. His words caused dissatisfaction among everyone, and they blamed him. Qi-yun, you are too conscienceless to say this. Can Gao Yu still use Yin-yan's death to deceive us? Yes, are you stimulated? If not, go to the hospital. It is understandable. Even the mother can't accept this fact. Seeing that no one believes him, Qi-yun was angry. Are you all blind? Can't you see that Gao Yu is acting? Yin-yan just has a fever, how could she die? He just wants to use my daughter to make me feel guilty and submit. You are all his accomplices. Although he spoke confidently, no one paid attention to him. Everyone thought he was crazy. Finally, Qi-yun shouted in exasperation and turned around and walked quickly towards Yin-yan's small coffin. You don't believe it, right? I'll show you if Gao Yu is lying. He walked so fast that before I could react, he lifted the white cloth covering Yin-yan. You can see clearly who is lying here. After lifting the white cloth, Yin-yan's face, which had already turned yellow, was exposed in front of Qi-yun. Yin-yan was stunned, and her lips trembled unconsciously. Yin-yan, you also helped your dad to deceive your mother. Yin-yan did not answer him. Yin-yan, hurry up and get up. Stop making trouble. Lying is not a good thing. Yin-yan still did not answer and was still sleeping. The air around her was quiet. Outward pressure. English. The next moment, the whole morning hall was so quiet that even everyone's breathing could be heard clearly. Yin-yan and Qi-yun panicked and reached out to pull Yin-yan up. I ran forward and pushed her away. I looked at my daughter. Her hand was suspended in the air, trembling slightly. I looked at her coldly, without a trace of warmth. You don't deserve it. Qi-yun slowly put down her hand but did not leave. She just stood there motionless. Zoukai stepped forward and touched her, but she still did not react. After a long time, he suddenly squatted on the ground with his face covered, and broke down and cried. It's impossible. This can't be Yin-yan. He obviously just had a fever. Why did he die? Why did I look at him expressionlessly, watching him cry until he couldn't breathe? What is he crying for? Is he regretting it? Probably not. These few drops are just crocodile tears. You thought you could fool me. Qi-yun, are you satisfied now? Yin-yan is really dead. No one lied to you. She is really dead. I roared, and Qi-yun was so scared that his body trembled. Zoukai stepped forward immediately holding her shoulders. Gao Yu. Qi-yun was also very sad. Don't say that to her, she is Yin-yan's mother after all. I slowly stood up, my tone as cold as ice. A mother should not abandon her daughter for an outsider. What qualifications do you have to tell me this? Who is the instigator? My heart aches with every word I say. I try hard not to let my tears fall, and I also try hard not to kill him. This is Yin-yan's morning hall, please leave, you are not. Welcome here. I stared at Yin-yan's sleeping face, my voice was a little erratic. You two dogs and bitches, get out of here, don't dirty my daughter's reincarnation path. Qi-yun's body shook suddenly, raised his eyes and looked at me pitifully. I'm sorry Gao Yu, I don't know, I really don't know, I sighed. It doesn't matter whether you know or not. Now I just want a divorce. I brought up the divorce again. This time Qi-yun didn't have the arrogance before, but lowered his head and bent his body. Believe me, I really didn't mean it. Yin-yan is my daughter, how could I hurt her? This was an accident which none of us expected. But you can't divorce me because of this. You have to give me a chance to atone for my sins. He held my arm tightly and got close to me. Yin-yan is gone, but we are still young, we can still have children, and our relationship has been very good over the years. This time it was my negligence, I won't do it again, I really will change. A few tears fell on my arm as he spoke. Qi-yun looked pitiful. This was his best trick. Every time he shed tears pitifully, I would coax him desperately and wish I could give him my life. But now this trick doesn't work. Qi-yun, I loved you, but this is not an excuse for you to trample on me again and again. I can tolerate you not loving me, but I can't tolerate you not loving Yin-yan. When I see you I will think of Yin-yan. I can't help but hate you. Does Gao Yu really have to get to the point of divorce? Is this a big deal? Is it because Yin-yan didn't? Is our family broken up? I slapped him in anger. Yes, it was because Yin-yan died. You think his death was a big deal, right? Then why don't you die? Go die. The morning hall was empty, filled with my echoes. How could he not care at all? His own daughter died, and he just wanted to turn the page without any hesitation? Qi-yun was startled by me. The pain on her face was gone, replaced by a sarcastic face. I think you wanted to divorce me a long time ago, but you used your daughter as an excuse. Did you cheat on me? Did you betray me? He, a cheater, actually had the audacity to turn the tables. I have seen this. Qi-yun, you are so shameless. Who of us cheated on me? There was a moment of guilt in his eyes, and then he stiffened his neck and said, I won't divorce anyway. I nodded. Okay, no, don't blame me for not saving face. Under the gaze of everyone, I turned on my phone and played the video I just saw outside the door. When they saw the video, everyone was in an uproar. Oh my god, this was in a funeral home. My god, he is so shameless, having sex with a man behind his daughter's morning hall. I can't say anything. Their scandal was finally exposed. Chi-yun was motionless as if struck by lightning. Zoukai stepped forward and grabbed my collar with a ferocious look on his face. Gao Yu, you despicable villain, you actually took pictures of us secretly. You are shameless. I was amused by him. I walked away shamelessly. Look carefully, the woman you are riding is my legal wife. You are destroying my marriage. Who is shameless between us? I deliberately used ugly words because in my eyes, this pair of dogs and bitches are no longer human beings. They are animals, beasts that can go into heat anytime and anywhere. Looking back at Chi-yun, he was completely dumbfounded. His scandal was exposed and he had lost all his face. Chi-yun, don't blame me. You are really too much. What else can I say now? Everyone was whispering, and some even took out their mobile phones, wishing to take pictures of Zoukai's face. At this time, Chi-yun's parents rushed in after hearing the news. They were only briefly surprised and sad about losing their granddaughter, and then they returned to their original arrogant appearance. Gao Yu, you want to divorce Xiaoyun? I nodded and told her all the ugly things Chi-yun had done. Unexpectedly, his parents kept saying that since the child was gone, we had to look forward to it. We still had to live our lives. 10 years of cultivation make us together for 100 years. Don't say any more. I interrupted his mother's long speech. He had been cheating with Zoukai for a long time, which directly led to Yanyan's death. How do you want me to look forward to it? Should I forgive Chi-yun for cheating or not care about my daughter's life or death? I can also look forward to it, but I will never. Right, I'm not with Chi-yun. He and I are done here. If he doesn't agree, I will go directly to the court to file a lawsuit. Chi-yun's parents were so excited that they almost jumped up, pointing at my nose and cursing. Gao Yu, our union married you at a young age, gave birth to your children and took care of you. We old couple treated you as our own son. Now you want to divorce me. Is this what a human being would do? All these years, you only earn a few dollars a month in your job. If it weren't for my union, your family of 3 would have starved to death long ago. It's my daughter who has been wronged, and she hasn't even mentioned it. What right do you have to divorce me? I think this is all your conspiracy. Yanyan might have been killed by you, and you blame it on Yunyun. You just want to divorce him or not. Chi-yun also jumped out immediately, as if someone finally supported him. To Gao Yu, this is all your conspiracy. Yanyan just had a fever, why did she die? You are despicable. Looking at the ugly faces of Chi-yun and his parents, I really felt that I was completely wrong. It was a mistake to marry him in the first place. I unexpectedly did not realize my mistake until now. His parents looked down on me. They thought I did not have a good job and made little money. Chi-yun was beautiful and well-educated. She could find a rich bachelor. It was me who repeatedly promised that I would treat her well for the rest of my life. I even knelt down in front of them and promised that all the money would be under Chi-yun's control in the future. Only then did they agree. Seeing my firm attitude, Chi-yun's mother pulled her away. Look for loopholes on the ground and walk away. This is all your fault. You have to be responsible for us, Yunyun. Being forced to marry in public, Zoukai could no longer hold it in and pushed Chi-yun's mother aside. What responsibility should I take? It was your daughter who seduced me. I was fine alone, but she either called me or sent me messages, and even came to my house to find me. She is so cheap. She brought herself to the door. Only your daughter can be so worthless. Everyone present, including me, was shocked. I have always believed that it takes 2 hands to tango in this kind of thing, but after hearing what Zoukai said, it seemed that Chi-yun was the one who asked for it. Chi-yun's mother couldn't face it and said to Zoukai. He beat and hit Chi-yun, and after Zoukai finished speaking, his eyes were empty, as if his soul had been taken away. Zoukai, what did you say? Say it again. It was impossible for Zoukai to get away with it, but as a scumbag, he had to try his best to clear himself. So he looked at Chi-yun with contempt. Wasn't what I said right? Look at yourself, you are old and have children. Do you really think I like you? If it weren't for him, he suddenly stopped talking, but I keenly caught a hint of something unusual. Why? According to what Zoukai said, as a woman, there is no other place that can attract him, so what he covets is, thinking of this, a seemingly absurd but very likely hypothesis suddenly popped up in my mind. I called the staff of the funeral home, drove Chi-yun's family and Zoukai out, and then told the funeral home not to cremate the body today. I began to doubt the cause of my daughter's death. I found a friend who works in the judicial field. He said that if you think Yanyan died an abnormal death, you can request an autopsy. Although I hope Yanyan can ascend to heaven soon, once the seeds of doubt are planted, they will never go away. During the gap of the forensic autopsy, I asked Chi-yun for a divorce again. She cried and made a fuss, but when I took out the video she finally shut up. In order not to be seen by more people, in order to later, she had to compromise and sign the divorce agreement. All the property belonged to me, and Chi-yun left the house. This should be the most miserable spring festival I have had in my 30 years of life. My daughter died and I was divorced. It was a real broken family. The house was cold and deserted, without the slightest happy atmosphere. I was shrouded in the pain of losing my daughter. After divorcing me, Chi-yun immediately threw herself into Zoukai's arms. Even though the two had already torn their faces apart and even though Zoukai said he was worthless, he had no other choice now and could only fool around with Zoukai first. A few days later, I received a call from my senior sister. A poison-like ingredient was found in Yanyan's body. It is not available in China. It should be obtained from abroad. For adults, this medicine can treat impotence and heart disease when taken according to the dosage, but for children, it is equivalent to poison. Why would Yanyan take this medicine? I quickly thought of Zoukai's hesitant words. It must be him, but where is the evidence? Suddenly I thought of the miniature camera at home. When Chi-yun had just given birth, I hired a confinement nanny. For precautionary purposes and to check in real time, I installed a camera. Later, after the confinement nanny left, I forgot about it, so I hurried to check and finally found the video of Yin-Yan's illness on the day she fell ill. Zoukai was also in the video. Seeing Yin-Yan, Chi-Yun had a fever, and he couldn't find any antipyretic medicine in the medicine box. Zoukai took out a medicine bottle from his pocket and asked Chi-Yun to give it to Yin-Yan. Chi-Yun was completely unprepared for Zoukai, and didn't even look at what medicine Yin-Yan was taking. Or maybe he wanted Yin-Yan's fever to go down quickly so as not to delay their date. So I started investigating Zoukai, and found out that he owed a lot of debts and couldn't pay them back, so he had to hide here. I learned from Chi-Yun that my parents left me an inheritance, so I had my eyes on the inheritance. Zoukai knew that the child was dead, and I would definitely make trouble with Chi-Yun and divorce him. He was pretending to express his love for Chi-Yun. In this way, Chi-Yun's share of the divorce property would be enough to help he paid off his debts. Chi-Yun's job was not bad, and she could become his cash cow. Everything was planned by Zoukai. For his own selfish desires, he even killed people and hurt an innocent child. After learning the truth, I pounded the table in anger and wailed in pain. Poor my Yin-Yan, who was only 3 years old, became a victim of his sexual desires and conspiracy. After being angry, I put away the video and called Chi-Yun. Soon he came to my side. Following Zoukai, he dressed more coquettishly today. The skirt looked the same whether he was wearing it or not. When the video was played, I deliberately enlarged it and threw the instructions to Chi-Yun. Then I looked up all the information about Zoukai. All the information was placed in front of them. Chi-Yun was a little confused at first, but when he saw the back, his face immediately turned pale, and he couldn't even stand steadily. He held the corner of the table. How could it be possible? He turned his head and looked at Zoukai in disbelief, his voice trembling. Zoukai, you did all this. Zoukai looked flustered and kept shaking his head. No, that medicine is indeed a fever-reducing medicine, but it may be suitable for adults, not children. My anger value has risen to the critical point. I have asked a forensic doctor to test it. It is not a fever-reducing medicine at all. You are still quibbling. You came prepared. You deliberately wanted to kill my daughter. Zoukai was completely panicked, but he refused to admit it. However, the evidence is irrefutable. No matter how Zoukai explained, Chi-Yun did not believe a word he said. It turns out that you have been using me from the beginning to the end. You took advantage of my friendship with you to come into my house. It was you who killed my daughter and destroyed my home. Ha ha, I am such a fool. You used me for no reason and caused my family to be broken up. Go away, you are a scumbag. Give me back my daughter. Chi-Yun's eyes were slightly bulging, bloodshot, and he clenched his fists and shouted hysterically. I was watching from the side, looking at his regretful look, and my heart was calm. Regret, right? But it's too late. Chi-Yun at this time is a madman, just like me on the day I learned that Yin-Yan died. He pounced on Zoukai and tore at him. Zoukai he dodged and beat him at the same time, and tore his exposed clothes into strips. Maybe he felt that catching him was not enough to satisfy his hatred, so Chi-Yun bit him directly. He looked so ferocious, just like a wild beast. When Chi-Yun bit off a piece of Zoukai's flesh alive, he finally stopped showing mercy and punched and kicked Chi-Yun. Chi-Yun's clothes were torn to pieces, and his exposed skin was full of wounds. It should be caused by Zoukai's previous beating. It seems that he is not living a happy life now. You, this dead woman, is useless. If I had known that you would cause such a big trouble, I would not look for anyone else but you. Don't you see what kind of person you are? You still dare to hit me. I will beat you to death today. Chi-Yun was beaten, he had no power to fight back. But he didn't let Zoukai go. You think you are a good guy, a coward who can't get hard without medicine. I was so blind to believe you. You killed my daughter, you have to pay for her life. The two of them struggled to the window. Half of Chi-Yun's body was already out of the window. He was scared and said, let go, let go. I was wrong. I don't blame you. Pull me up. I have no clothes on. I will be embarrassed if others see me. All the crimes have been exposed. Zoukai also killed himself. Pull you up. Go to die and accompany your daughter. As he spoke, Chi-Yun's body leaned out again. He was so scared that he shouted Gao Yu desperately. Gao Yu, are you going to watch me die without helping? It was Zoukai. It wasn't me who killed Yin-Yan. I wanted to step forward to stop him, but the moment I took a step, Zoukai showed a ferocious smile on his face. Go to hell. He pushed Chi-Yun out of the window. Seeing Chi-Yun fall, he subconsciously wanted to retract his hand, but was held tightly by Chi-Yun. At this time, he was no longer afraid, but instead smiled with relief. Zoukai, you killed my daughter. If she dies, you can't live either. Go to hell with me. He burst out with amazing strength and pulled Zoukai and himself down the stairs. Zoukai's voice was blown away by the wind. I wanted to pull them, but it was too late. This was the 20th floor. It was impossible to survive if you fell down. I called an ambulance and the police at the same time. Both of them died on the spot. They were even smashed to pieces. There was no need to rescue them. I went to the police station to record a statement. Our grievances ended with the death of Chi-Yun. The evil man is dead, and my Yin-Yan can rest in peace. After burying Yin-Yan, I sold this house and moved to an apartment not far from the cemetery. The apartment is not big, but you can see the cemetery when you open the window. Suddenly, snowflakes floated in the sky, one by one crystal clear. It must be my Yin-Yan who came to see me. She should have been reincarnated now. I hope that in the next life she can meet a good mother who will accompany her to grow up healthy and happy. The whole text is over.